welcome to Producer Profile. Producer Profile is a show where we showcase some of the talented people who work behind the scenes in the entertainment, business, and local communities, while making positive influences on the lives of others.
Hello, welcome to the Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston. Focus on This is a community-based show that is based on the church, based on the Bible. It's a talk show format, and my guest today is the producer of Focus on This, Sylvia Smith. Welcome to the show.
Well, glad to be here.
Good, good. Okay, so tell me about Focus on This. When did it start?
Focus on This actually was came into my mind was a vision while I was going through my producer training in the studio, in the field of studio. I was there in the class, and the instructor, Walter Dunn, was talking about thinking of some type of name that you should put your focus on. What do you want to call your show? So at that particular time, I said, Focus on This. And that's how it came about.
And you took it and stayed with it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. Focus on This.
So that's interesting how someone's words can influence you.
Influenced
and
the birth of Focus on This, the show.
Now, how did you come to BCAT? You attribute it to another producer that I know and I've worked with, and who is that?
Miss Chestnut.
Miss Gloria Chestnut. Okay, so tell me, how did that come about?
Well, it came about, she was like at my church, and I have a choir. I sing in the choir, and she had wanted my choir, Walter Johnson, to sing on her show, to be on her show, one of her shows.
And her show is called Expressions of Faith, and that comes on every Sunday, right?
And she asked me if I would get in touch with my music director for the choir and see if he would be willing to do a show for her. And lo and behold, we did. And from that time on, just through our communication, trying to get it set up, we became pretty much friends. So I came to the studio one time with her while she was doing the show. It wasn't that particular show, but one show that she did. And I was watching. I said, I kind of like this, you know. So after coming with her a couple of times, I decided, maybe I should try and get my own show. Okay. So that's how that came about.
How
just to make a long story short.
Okay, and now it has blossomed into a lot of other things for you. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But let's stay with Focus on This. Tell me, what type of shows have you done? Talk about a few of your shows.
At this point, I'm just doing specials. Okay. Specials on community-based organizations. The thing is that Focus on This is a show that would like to reach out to the community. We would like to go into the community, get with the church, get with the community-based organizations, and see if they can have some common bond, some common area where they can bond together, they can get to know one another. The community needs to know what is there available to them in their own community, each community itself. The church is a community-based now organization there, and know just about what organizations are in their community. So I feel the two of them should be able to air their points, their strong points and their views as to what the community needs, so it can get to the people, the residents in the community.
Well, we have a clip of one of your shows, and we're going to go to it right now. Okay. Okay, we're going to see that in a moment. And this clip has something to do with teenagers, is that so?
Yes, this particular clip is a special on adoption agencies. This particular agency is is geared to special needs of children, a special group of children. And the name of the agency is called Teens and Tweens.
Teens and Tweens.
They especially cater to the teenage children that are not being adopted. They fall through the system and they wind up growing up in the system, becoming teenagers.
Okay, so the clip is ready. Let's go to it. Okay.
Hello. Welcome to the special edition of Focus on This. I'm Karen Ford, and I'm your host for this evening. Tonight's session will focus on the spoken word in the form of poetry. Tonight as my guest, I have a very talented but undiscovered poet by the name of Linda Cromwell Simpson. Linda, welcome to Focus on This.
Thank you, Karen. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Great. Tell me a little bit about how long you've been writing poetry.
Well, I've always written poetry or little stories, but I believe I started very young. I was writing about my mother when I got mad at her, so I think that was the first one that I've written.
Okay.
When I didn't get my way, I used to write, so I think I took it from there.
Okay, and tell me about some of the inspirations for you that have caused you to write some poems.
Basically, I have always been confronted with situations, and during that time, I think I become very emotional, and I start going inside myself, and I kind of get it from right then and there at that moment. So whatever the moment is, if it's interesting to my inner self, I'll just grab it and take it and run with it.
Well, I've heard some of your poems, and they definitely are a reflection of who you are.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm looking forward to hearing the one you're going to read for us this evening.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Would you like to hear them now?
Well, I want you to first tell us a little bit about the poem, and then we'll hear from you.
Okay, the one that I will begin with is the ocean. The ocean is basically, I was supposed to be going away with a young gentleman, and I didn't go. So I reinvented myself there to make him feel bad. So that's where I got the ocean from. I can feel the strength in my legs and feel the warmth in my body, and I could walk upon the waters with my head up so high. And the love that I feel for you is as deep as the depth of the ocean. I have laid on the sands with you, and the sun has danced across my body. You have felt the warmth from my hands as I caressed your back. And when your fingers have touched my lips, and the warmth that I felt without a kiss will last a lifetime. For I have walked away from you, and you have gazed at my leaving. For my hips have swayed like the motion in the ocean, and once again you have desired me. So that was to make him eat his heart out.
Okay,
So,
and did it work?
yes. Yes.
I'm quite sure it did. Who could resist such beautiful words?
No.
You want to tell me a little bit about the next poem you have for us?
Okay, I'm talking with Sylvia Smith, and she has a show called Focus on This, and we didn't see the clip on Tweens and Teens. We saw a clip on this spoken word. Tell us a little bit about that.
The spoken word, we also just focus on this, also attend to the talent that's in the community. And the spoken word came about with poetry. And that clip that you saw was Linda Simpson and her poetry and poetry writing that she does.
Okay. Okay. Now, there's a project that's near and dear to your heart that you're working on. Tell us why it's near and dear to your heart, and what is it about?
Oh, that's so touching to me because I'm real excited. I get excited over this. Right now, the church that I attend, I grew up, is a church on the project ground called the Church of the Open Door. And we have a lovely pastor that's there, and that's Dr. Reverend Mark V.C. Taylor. And at this stage, I am now working, as I speak, on a 10-year tenure, on his 10-year tenure at the church, and a documentary on the development and growth of the church for his 10 years as pastor of the Church of the Open Door.
Now, did this happen as a result of you becoming a producer here at BCAT, or was this prior? Was this something that you had been working on before?
As a producer at BCAT.
Okay.
Yes.
So it came out of that. That's very interesting.
All types of visions that came to me about projects and specials I can do.
Now, at what point are you in the documentary?
At the point of where we're logging everything.
Okay.
We have done all our clips. We did all the videos and interviews. We interviewed from the administrative body all the way down to the parishioners. We have interviewed the pastor and the deacon board, and so now we're at the point where we have to log all that material and get it ready for the edit.
Okay. And will you be doing the editing as well?
Yes.
Okay. So how are you going to do it?
Well, as I've been taught here at the studio.
Okay. Now, let's go back to your show, focus on this. Now, who is your regular host, and what is the format of the show? How is it set up usually?
Usually it's just set up with the talent, and we have a host. I have a permanent host. It's my sister, Karen Ford, which you saw her on that clip that we just did, the B-roll. That's my host.
That's your host, your sister.
Yes.
Okay. Family affair.
Family oriented, yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a musical break, and we are going to hear Smokey Robinson and the Miracles performing a medley of their hits. So I hope you enjoy it.
I love Smokey.
Okay, let's go to the music. Okay, welcome back. I'm talking with Sylvia Smith, and she has a show called Focus on This. And let's hear about your dreams, your hopes and dreams for your show.
The world is my oyster, as they say. So I know Focus on This. I can see Focus on This in every community and borough, going into the community and searching out all the wonderful projects that the community has from community-based organizations that they have for the people, and getting the people involved in those community-based organizations so they can have a better quality of life, and also be able to know what the needs are of the people that's in the community. Maybe these, as a possibility, these community-based organizations will be able to cater to them and more efficiently.
Now, besides being a producer, you wear many hats. You are very involved in your church, but you're also involved with the aged as well as the mental health organizations. Tell me a little bit about that. Your church first.
Well, the church we have 7 ministries have derived from since Pastor Taylor Our pastor has been there, and within his 10 years, we came up with 7 ministries. I happen to belong to one of the ministries, and that's for the seniors. It's a senior ministry, and what we do, that ministry does is we are something like a referral center for them, for the seniors, and what we do is find out what the community seniors need on their individual basis, and we try to refer them to get those needs met.
Now, you particularly love working with the seniors. Why is that?
I guess it's a calling. I cannot really tell you in so many words exactly the reason why. I just have a love for them because I figure one day I'll be there.
Okay. And also, a lot of seniors have a lot of information and wisdom that they can pass on.
Yes. And those are the things that we need to get back to our grassroots. Most of the information that the seniors have, you cannot find in a textbook, or no one can tell you exactly how to do it. It's sort of like on the job training or learning, you know, just by experiences. They have experiences.
Well, we have the clip of the tweens and teens ready, so let's go to that clip.
Yes.
We'll look at that now.
With a voice much louder than a rolling thunder, and His presence causing the earth to tremble, standing in His glory, commanding all mankind be still. He said, hear my voice and do my will. Take up your cross and walk with me. So said this man.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Focus on This. I'm Karen Ford, your host for today's show. And to my left, I have joining me in the studio is Pat O'Brien, Executive Director, and Chester Jackson. Thank you, Chester. Associate Director of You Gotta Believe. You Gotta Believe is an organization whose primary purpose is to prevent homelessness by finding permanent families for teens and children. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
First question, I'll direct to Pat. What is You Gotta Believe? And tell me, how do you prevent homelessness?
Well, you know, you Gotta Believe is actually a licensed adoption and foster care agency. But when we go around talking about what we are, we don't say we're an adoption agency, we don't say we're a foster care agency. We tell the world we're a homelessness prevention program. And the way we prevent homelessness is by finding permanent families for kids who are teenagers and living in foster care. Because if we don't get them into families, the way you and I had families when we were kids, before they get discharged out of foster care, there's really not a heck of a lot waiting out there for them when they turn 18 and 19 and 20 and they're alone in the world, barely with a high school diploma, often with no job and no relationships. So that's our focus, to get those kids into permanent families so they have everything that everybody else had ever had when they moved on in life.
How long has your organization been in existence?
Well, we actually got incorporated in 1995, and we've been working in this field in one phase or another for the last 15 years.
Okay, great. And for you, Chester, I hear that you are an adoptive parent.
Yes. One of the unique features about our program is that it's very much based on practical experience of our families. Most of our staff have extensive involvement in adoption, especially the adoption of older children. Okay. My kids came when they were 14 and 15, respectively, and they're now grown and out and on their own. Okay. So it's been a very interesting experience. And that also adds a very unique spin to what it is that we do. You know, all of our workshops, all of our training, it's all geared toward helping people understand what the realities are of foster care and adoption.
Tell me, how does a teenager become homeless?
Well, Pat has a whole workshop that he does on the statistics and how children become homeless. But essentially, the one thing that 100%, I will say, 100% of the homeless population have in common is that they don't have any functioning relationships. I mean, there's all kinds of things. We always talk about drug abuse, and we talk about mental illness, and we talk about all those other factors. Okay. But the bottom line is, if you don't have anybody to call when you're down on your luck, then you end up on the street. I mean, that's you know, and foster care, unfortunately, we don't prepare children for the realities of being out there. And there are lots of programs that people
This is the only church on the government property.
We learn how.
No.
Okay, welcome back to Producer Profile. I'm talking with Sylvia Smith. She has the show Focus on This. And we just saw a clip about teens and tweens.
Yes.
And that was a interesting show. It was about adopting teenagers.
Teenagers,
Right.
yes.
Okay, what have you found with producing? What part of production do you enjoy the most?
I truly enjoy behind the scenes. I
Okay.
enjoy setting up. I enjoy the getting the pre-production mostly. I like getting the crew together. I enjoy getting the project off the ground, searching for the project, a right type of program I would like to view. You know, finding talent that I need,
Okay.
and behind the scenes.
And what is it like when the actual show is going on? What has been your experience?
The unpredictableness. You think you know what you're going to do when you're out there. You have it on paper, and then all of a sudden, everything just what you had on paper, throw it out the window.
Really?
And you know what? And you just go through it. You just do it.
And it gets
you
done.
know, yeah, and it gets done. It comes out, as you see, the clip comes out really nice.
Now, do you direct your own shows?
Yes, I do. I'm partially. I work with the crew. I work with the TG and the character generator. Yeah, and the robotics.
Okay.
And we sort of get it done, you know.
All right.
And so far, I've been blessed with a crew that knew what to do and helped me along the way. And it says, "Well, you get the talent, we'll get it. We get it done."
Okay.
Okay.
Now, have you done remote shoots?
I just completed my remote class. I did a lot of remote, but on the job training, you know, self-taught because of the documentary. I did all the taping, I did all the footage and everything like that.
What kind of camera are you using for the documentary?
The document, it's with the church camera. We have
all right.
yeah. See, I can't really tell you what the name of the camera, but it's a digital. You know, it has a viewfinder, and
Okay. So, do you enjoy?
RCA.
Do you
that's
enjoy
what it is.
camera work? Is that your preference?
Remote I enjoy because I have the control of the camera. I can cue myself what to take and what not to.
Now, when I've done remote shoots, one of the problems that I find is that sometimes I do take too much footage. How do you control the amount of footage that you do? Because then you have to look through all that footage and make those editing decisions. So, do you have in your mind's eye what you're going to shoot ahead of time?
Yes.
Okay.
After taking all that footage for so many, I mean, I have like 20, 30 tapes of footage
a lot.
of interviews, of programs that the church has had, and like I said, it was on the job training, self-taught. I noticed that there's a lot of space that I was using on the camera that I didn't really need, so I learned to go to black, fade out, know when to come in, and just feel it. You know, you get an eye for it, you feel it, and you know, like, okay, I don't need this. I can shut down for a minute, and then you sort of follow it. You take it. You follow everything. You watch everything. The key to that is you don't watch a show. You watch the viewfinder.
Right, and just pay attention.
And just
to the
pay attention. You know when to fade out, when not to, what to take and what not. I just put it on pause and then go right back into it.
Now, this documentary is on your Reverend, and it's specifically about his life at the church. What is the focus of the documentary?
The focus is about what his past, what he felt, what his views was, what his vision was in the past before he went in the beginning, when he first came to the church. What did he find that needed to be changed? If not,
Okay.
you know, what was his vision? What did God have for him to do there at the church?
Well, so Sylvia, we've come to the end of Producer Profile. Focus on This is a special now, right? These are
Yes.
special, so and maybe one day it will be a monthly and maybe a weekly.
Yes.
So, and we look forward to seeing the documentary when it's done in the near future or in about a year. Thank you for watching Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston. Until next time, bye-bye.